my dad went to Vietnam and all that. I came to DC via Boston. And I did a lot of work there in Boston. I worked with a state representative, and actually some of my language is in the Education Reform Act over in Boston, Massachusetts. And I came here, I'm a Howard University professor, and I've been working with education and health issues regarding immigrants, Hispanics, and African American populations. So that is my passion, and I'm here to work. I'm the ex officio to the DC committee, and also part of the Latino Caucus. So I'm hoping to, we're very excited, hoping to get more people to join us. And here to service.
Latino?
Thank you.
Okay. So like I said, my name is Sekou Biddle. I'm a native Washingtonian. I actually grew up in Ward 1 in the neighborhoods of Adams Morgan, Columbia Heights, and Mount Pleasant. My parents managed to move collectively all of about 5 blocks in my time growing up. So they were on the Dorchester at 16th Street, and then at 1673 Columbia Road. And they bought their first house in Columbia Heights when it was a different Columbia Heights, let's just say it that way, back in the mid-70s. And were there for about 10 years, and then moved to Mount Pleasant, where they still reside today. And it's been amazing to grow up in such a diverse community. And I went to DC public schools, and in my entire life growing up in the city, I've always had the opportunity to live, work, and play with a tremendously diverse group of people. Seeing the District of Columbia that I grew up in and the people that I went to school with, I was acutely aware of the challenges that were happening, quite frankly, outside of our country, and why oftentimes the district will end up being a home to so many people from so many different places because of the challenges that are going on in other parts of the world. And my father worked for the Department of Commerce. When we moved to Nigeria for a few years, once you get a chance to see, and I think for those of us who are, American citizens or native Washingtonians who haven't been outside the country, to get a perspective of what it's like in other parts of the world, to realize the opportunity we have here. And then now it's really important for us to capitalize on that opportunity, make sure that everyone who lives and works in District of Columbia today has an equal opportunity to capitalize on those opportunities there. And frankly, one of the things we have to do moving forward is we have to push through some of the coded language people throw around that is designed to protect others or to prevent people from having opportunities. Because the reality is we are all in this together. And the district will move forward when all of us decide and realize that we are doing this together. And until we get to that point, we can hide behind, well, this person shouldn't have the opportunity I had because of where they're coming from, or where I'm coming from. But we're here together. And the best I can tell is I'm not going anywhere else. Those people who've chosen to be here, some people were born here, other people have come from other circumstances. But what I do know is we can have a wonderful city where we can all succeed and work together. And I'm looking forward to continue to doing that. And then my wife's had excellent opportunities here as well, growing up as a native Washingtonian. I'm just looking forward to continuing to get to know all of you all. Hope you all get to know me, and that's both in my capacity on the Board of Education and potentially as a council member, but also just as residents. Because at the end of the day, we all do live here together. We all want the city to be the best city possible. So I'm looking forward to getting to know those of you that I don't already know. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Make things short. This is Christmas time, and I want everybody to take back to their families love and just the festive time of just Christmas. Just be dear to your families, and if you want to receive love, you got to give love. And that's all I want to say about this campaign. I am a candidate, but drink responsibly, but also vote responsibly.
Yeah.
Democratic State Committee, National Committee man, also a former 2-term council member, and really view this as a unique opportunity to once again become a public servant for the District of Columbia in an official way. My 8 years on the council has been credited as being very successful. I had the opportunity to have the first major economic development project in 20 years in the city. Home Depot, Giant, AJ Wright, Bank of America. And I think the great thing about that project was once we cut the deal, the first thing we did is we went and got with our advisory neighborhood commissioners, and we had them go in the communities and get people to actually put their resumes together, let them know they had to be ready to pass a drug test and be ready to get the jobs that were going to become available. So we were able to connect that economic development to employment, and we got people employed, and that was through William Shelton. Also had the unique opportunity of being out front to reopen McKinley Tech brought it back as McKinley Technology High School, an $85 million project. I was the lone voice out there for a very long time, beating up on Superintendent Ackerman, beating up on Williams, anybody that would listen, said we must do this, and we were able to make that happen. I actually brought public access television from Ward 2 to Ward 5 with $750,000 and put it over in the Brooklyn, the mansion over there. And that was a battle because they wanted to turn that into a jail. And I was like, no way, we cannot have this in Brooklyn, a jail for Metro. Let's do something positive for our young people, give them an opportunity to learn about programming, producing things, being on TV. So that all worked out well. And I think for me, there's two things I'm really proud about. And that is one, being able to really document our history for the city by way of bringing DC Emancipation Day to the city and making that a holiday to celebrate our history of the freeing of the 3,100 slaves on April 16, 1862, when President Lincoln signed that document, at the urging of Frederick Douglass and others. And for us to really use that as an opportunity to gather around our statehood issues and really push that agenda. The other thing, unfortunately, but it's still trying to be a great success, watching Fox Morning News one morning, just watching the news and saw our children from School Without Walls and Banneker complaining about not having books for their core subjects in the month of May. School's out in June. They don't have books for their core subjects, and we're beating on them. So I introduced legislation to force the Board of Education to provide books to our children by the second week of school.